Donald Trump puts out a post, and this links to the Rothschilds. And this will show you from the highest perspective why symbolism is important and why the good guys have had to put the symbols out there in plain sight. And over the years, people wake up. Donald Trump puts out this post. Look how it ties together. It says, wow, the great art of Falafel. Ronald Reagan's economic whiz and highly respected by all said in a speech last night, Donald Trump is the greatest president in history, bar none. Look how he starts the post with the word wow. Wow takes us to only 8 posts. And if you go to the very first one, which was November 2017, it gives you a rundown. It says, look, my actual conclusion is probably what's delayed me the most. And it's mind-blowing to understand. Our country now, I totally get it. Look, current conclusions. So, Titanic, Rothschild screws America by making our money worthless, the crash of 29, tons of new government which doesn't fix the problem Rothschild created, but a war helps. CIA, everyone blackmailed with sex tapes, media consumed, CIA, country forced hard left, population to puppets, causes an uprising by certain patriots like Kennedy, Reagan and Trump. And while they managed to kill Kennedy and outlast Reagan, enough lessons were learned that we are now finally to clean house and become America again. Look, the first time in about 100 years. Wow. So you can see the Rothschilds screwed over America a long time ago, and that's what the war's been about. All these celebrities that wear the satanic cross and the owl and all the symbols is because people watch celebrities. But the people that actually see the strangeness of that will do the research. But if you then look at the White House, remember the White House is a military operation. White House is the building in the center of Washington, D.C., George Washington. They've stuck an owl in there too. Everyone that looks at the White House knowing governments are corrupt are going to just associate, look, that's with the Rothschilds. More corruption brings awareness to them. The next post says, all that you know is right is wrong. Look, the cult runs the world. That's fantasy land. Look, the world is fighting back and destroying the cult. 20% of it is public, 80% was private. The world would otherwise collapse. Look, a 40,000 foot versus again a need to decrease altitude to avoid the conspiracy label. The war was necessary. So then you can realize it's always been dark versus light, and the light have been hiding within the darkness, knowing that the only way they could win this war was to wake up the people worldwide, because they owned the Fed, because they controlled big pharmaceuticals. If you went against them, you wouldn't have a chance. However, the people are now informed. People now are to look out for the signs. People are told Hollywood is bad, and they do their research based on the signs. We would never see them because you can barely even find a photograph of the Rothschilds. And Q shows us this one. It said, who released this? Can you see how it's all tying together? The evil people do their stuff in secrecy. The good people push it so much in plain sight. And now it's us, we the people, waking up to what has already taken place.